Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Purnima and Nath from Wisconsin, United States. Wanted to give you an update of what's happening over here. Sadly speaking, oldest democracy of the world seem to be under a massive threat. One particular thing that I wanted to talk to you about is the amount of foreign influence is impacting this election and who is involved. We already talked about numerous times in terms of China's involvement, Iran's involvement, and also we see Islamists from world who is trying to influence this election. They don't want President Trump to be elected one more time. They know their plans, their strategies are halted. They know that President Trump is a danger for their strategies and implementation of Islamization of United States of America. That is why no matter where they're from, they're working together cohesively to make sure President Trump does not win. Take a look at this particular tweet from Rana Ayub, one of the journalists in India. She wrote this just a few hours ago. Joe Biden sought restoration of people's rights in Kashmir, was disappointed with CAA and RC. Will be interesting to see how this play out. She certainly doesn't want our president to be elected. Now, this is a journalist in India. India, as we talked about multiple times before, has 1.38 billion people. In 1947, Indian territory was divided into two countries, and Islamists wanted a separate nation. Just you must have heard about two-nation theory, which is what's happening right now in Israel and Palestine. And the same concept was implied. That was actually first land that was divided based on religion. This is the interesting part. India definitely was divided in 1947 based on religion. Pakistan land was created. However, at the same time, the very people who voted to create Pakistan, they stayed in India. You must ask the question, if you got your land, a separate land, and you are living in a kafir's land, which is India, it's non-Muslims country, why did you choose to stay in India? We don't know the answer yet. Now I'll tell you, we have theories as to why. I want to show you one more tweet so you understand where we are going with this. I just posted in here. Rana Ayub also about 2 hours ago, she mentioned how the oppressed, the silenced, whose children you killed, tortured, and discriminated, the ones you denied justice, have consolidated to save American democracy. Now, here is the interesting part. Tell me how many countries out of 56 countries of Islamist nations are democratic country. Now, this Washington Post darling, this Islamist spewing venom against India, against Hinduism, against Hindutva, against our land, against any non-Muslim trying to influence Islamist agenda and push their agenda. She's sitting in India talking about oldest democracy, audacity of this woman. I cannot believe this is the liberty India gives her. She calls herself minority. We have 250 plus million Muslim people in India. How are the minority? If you add Bangladesh's almost 156 million Muslims and Pakistan's, which is almost 99%, 98% now Muslims, which is about, let's say, 210 million Muslims. How are the minority in the just little area of Southeast Asian region? And we haven't even counted 38 million Muslims from Afghanistan. So I want you to know the Islamists globally are working together in order to make sure Trump doesn't win. The goal is to oust him because they know Trump is very strong on Islamic agenda and the Islamic terrorism. They don't want it. They call them soft Muslims. They call them moderate Muslims. But if you're spewing venomic agenda against our president, we elected him. Who are you to talk about our president sitting in India, Now let's quickly look at a couple of the things here in terms of what just happened. Not too long ago, we saw a bombshell report coming out from Michigan, one of the county. The software, they called it as a software glitch. Software counted the votes for Biden and Democrat candidate when these were meant to be Republican candidate. And this particular software is used in the 47 counties in Michigan. I want you to answer me, how many states are using this same faulty software? Is this really a glitch? And add to this that wee hours that thousands of ballots come into the counting area, it's all 100% Biden. Biden is not winning, but it's suddenly a boatload of ballots comes from somewhere, and suddenly Biden is in the lead. And we know Wisconsin is going to be recounting, and Pennsylvania is very, very dangerous area. We know they're not going to let it go so easily. We must fight for it. President Trump must fight for it. We know in Georgia, suddenly 60,000 ballots came in for Biden. Chair of Federal Election Commission, Trey Traynor, believed that voter fraud is now occurring. And we just heard about Senator Lindsey Graham is supporting President's Legal Defense Fund with $500,000. I wanted to take a few moments over here to talk about just one issue in terms of how global Islamists are trying to influence American election, and Islamists are quite united. You know about some of the major organizations over here in terms of CARE, which is Council on American Islamic Relations. You have Equality Lab. They're working with Stand with Kashmir. They're working with SALT, which is South Asian Leading Together. Tremendous amount of forces behind ICNA. They're all working to make sure that Trump is not elected. And we have to fight. And I want you to stay positive. We must fight no matter how. Staying from Milwaukee, I can tell you that Wisconsin is a rural state. There's no way Wisconsin was tilting towards Biden, because it's not New York, it's not California. They're not making billions of dollars over here. So it's unbelievable for me to know that gun owners like that is going to vote for Biden, who wants to take off our Second Amendment, or farmer state like this wants to vote for Biden, who wants to take our jobs from here and send it to China. This is not happening. This is a voter fraud. This is happening over here, and this is true. Democrats have been continuously denying the fact that there is a voter fraud. That Democrats have been continuously denying that this cannot happen. The last 4 years, they are the one who have been saying that Russian influenced this 2016 election. And then how come they are not accepting that the voter fraud could be a possibility? And we must be vigilant at this point. I'm pretty sure, confident that Trump campaign and team is going to fight against this massive corruption, and we'd like to see exactly what happens. And we're not going to know the verdict in within the next few days. And we are positive. I'm positive. I'm quite positive that President Trump has everything in his fingertips if we are counting the legal vote. But I also want you to remember one quick thing. Did you hear anything about COVID for the last few days? Where did COVID go? COVID died? So this massive corruption, the entities of big techs, entities of media, they are all working together to make sure that right information is not passed through to you, so you understand what's going on. One final quick note: Hindu Indian Americans, whoever is bashing us for standing with President Trump, know that fact that if you voted for Biden, you went against India and Indian sovereignty with Kashmir. You know that you haven't done anything right for this country as well. Continuously in the past, Democrat Party and the party leaders have supported India's enemy, Pakistan, constantly poking us, Hindu land, India, and trying to make sure that India is labeled as some kind of a terrorist country. It is not. No matter what you do, you are not going to be able to stop India's growth at this point. India has the people, India has the youth, technology, India also has the caliber. And Mr. Narendra Modi has strengthened the border, the military. I want you to ask, if you're an Indian Muslim, if you feel uncomfortable, if you feel India is not a safe country, why did your ancestor stay back when Pakistan was given to you? And if you feel like India is not a right country for you and not treating you well, after all these subsidies you get, why are you staying there? Why aren't you moving to Pakistan, which you think that is the best country for you? And people like Rana Ayub, I see that you spew venom against India and Hindus constantly. Narendra Modi hasn't arrested you, that's trying to silence you. But we have Sudarshan News, we have leaders like Arnab Goswami who's being arrested for saying the truth. India will not become appeasement country towards Muslims anymore. You have done enough damage to our country, to our land, to our civilization, to our history and heritage. Enough is enough. You're not going to be able to do this any further. And we Hindus are not going to let you do this. Ms. Rana Ayub, I want you to answer me, how many Islamic countries are democratic countries? And who the hell are you to talk about in terms of democracy? India gave you Pakistan. You should have gone there if you really wanted to go. Staying in India, she's spewing venom against American democracy right now. Ms. Rana Ayub, you have gotten enough freedom to say what you wanted to say. Hindus never attacked you. None of the Muslim countries have been attacked by Hindus. Even the 3 Muslim countries that are surrounding India right now, Hindus have never attacked you. Stay in your lane. And I'd like to urge our Hindu community globally to unite and also stand against this kind of Islamist who's trying to influence one of the oldest democracy and the biggest democracy. Yes, stay positive. President Trump is definitely going to fight. We're not going to let this go. And the corruption the Democrat Party has unleashed against United States, it's not going to go unnoticed. We're not going to just take it lying down anymore. As a Hindu, we know what we have gone through. We're not going to let this country go through this mess. And with this, I'd like you to stay positive, fight where you can. If you can go protest, please do. And this is your right. We have to fight against what they're doing. Count every legal vote. And CNN and Washington Post and New York Times, I'd like to see your COVID report for the last 3 days. All right. Thank you so much for being here, listening to me, and we'll connect soon again.